I think there's an element of game plan and flow with that. Obviously, there's times where under center can be very advantageous for us. Again, trying to put ourselves in the best position to be successful as far as an offense, and obviously with Jalen's ability to run, there is some components to being in the gun and the pistol that kind of keep that threat alive in some of those cases. But obviously something that we put some time and effort into this offseason to utilize, and we'll continue to find different spaces to do that.
Going on around here, man. The Philadelphia Eagles are putting a point of emphasis this week in practice on having Jalen Hurts take snaps from under center. This can mean one or two things in my opinion, man. I feel like that we are really now about to unlock what Kellen Moore really brings to the table. I think that, we tried to keep it generic and basic, when you was missing a lot of players or whatever the case may be. So you did things that was familiar. Now everybody in the building, I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to take this thing to a whole new level. And listen, man, I like Malik Nabers. Malik Nabers clear concussion protocol. I think he one of them ones, but he ain't never been sent to Guantanamo Bay. Yes, sir. I think Quinyon Mitchell is the best cornerback in the NFC East, and I also believe that Quinyon Mitchell is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFC. Let's get into it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lord Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I got to let you know this video was brought to you by BetUS. Big BetUS in the building, man. You already know what BetUS bring to the table, man. Use code YouTube 150, get 150% on your first deposit. You know what I'm saying? 125% on your next two deposits. They will take care of you. Personalized betting agent, all of that stuff, man. Get with BetUS. It's a no-brainer. So let's talk about it real quick. Having the Philadelphia Eagles operate a little more out of under center, I think it'll mitigate the pass rush of the New York Giants. They got a real solid defense. You know what I mean? At the same time, I think it'll unlock some of the play action that we could bring to the table. I hate that Dallas Goedert is going to miss this game, since it seems like that's a major point of emphasis for us this week, is having these guys operate from under center in a passing game. So I think Dallas Goedert would have benefited up the seams from that. But you got Grant Calcaterra, who had a solid game, in the absence of Dallas Goedert when he went out early in the first half of last week's game. So I'm excited to see how this offense is going to look, man. We doing things different. Nick got a little swag to him. He got a little bop to him. But, I want to see what the offense bring to the table, man. I think, now this could be a hot take. I got to be a hot take because it ain't happened. I think the Philadelphia Eagles score on the first drive of the game. You know what I mean? They definitely put some points up in the first quarter. I guarantee you that. You know what I mean? So we're going to break that streak this week. And, we're going to jump all over the New York Giants. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So Quinyon Mitchell, man. Why do I think Quinyon Mitchell is the best cornerback in the NFC East? Now, he's damn sure the best cornerback in the NFC East through the first, 7 weeks of the season. It's a no-brainer, man. It's a no-brainer. Quinyon Mitchell, he probably should have 4 picks. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to attribute that to the youth aspect of it. The youth aspect of it is why he don't got more picks, but he's always where he's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Always where he's supposed to be. And you know what bothered me about takes like this? You can't name a guy that's playing better in the division than Quinyon Mitchell at the position. So what you're going to do is make it seem like I'm crazy, or you're going to make it seem like, oh, he only played 5 games. You need to slow down on talk like that. I don't subscribe to that, man. I expect that from other people in the division. But when I hear people in our fan base talking like that, you know what I mean? You got a tiny heart syndrome. Because you can't tell me a guy that's playing better than Quinyon Mitchell in the division. Give me a name or remain silent. Give me a name or remain silent. What he's done through the first 5 weeks, or what he's done through the first 5 games for the Philadelphia Eagles, is what some of these young studs have done. Listen, nobody was scared to say that about Sauce. Nobody was scared to say that about Patrick Surtain. They wasn't. Nobody was scared to say that about those guys. So we're not going to act like we should be scared to say, we got us one. We got us one. And I think that, putting him on Malik Nabers, I think it's in our best interest, because not only do we got a young star, we got a young dog. Not afraid to chirp at guys like Mike Evans, not afraid to go out there and show that he's not intimidated by the opposition. So that's a breath of fresh air for the Philadelphia Eagles in itself. Imagine this, the Philadelphia Eagles hitting in the first round on a cornerback. Who would have thought that could happen, man? A lot of guys saying this guy reminds them of Eric Allen. I'm just here to tell you that he the best in the division, and we're going to bust down some tape on why. A lot of people do it. Listen, this is just part one of Malik Nabers versus Quinyon Mitchell. This ain't the first time a lot of people going to be strapped up, locked up on Guantanamo Bay. I'm telling you, a lot of people going to find themselves on Guantanamo Bay for a very, very long time because this kid possesses elite attributes, man. So let's get into a little bit of the film.
What really determines a lockdown cornerback is not the interceptions, man. This is high IQ football right here. Watch how Quinyon passes off Mike Evans to Nakobe Dean, who's supposed to continue taking this guy in coverage. Right there, Quinyon gives up the responsibility. It keeps his eyes in the backfield. You know, Nakobe Dean just got to do better in coverage. But that's a good pass off for the receiver by Quinyon Mitchell. I really, really like this play. This is probably the best play of the young career of Quinyon Mitchell so far. He didn't get the interception on this play. It wasn't a turnover, but this just shows the IQ, how he's able to, you know what I mean, just double back to an underneath route and affect that pass. It's just so much that went into that play, man. It's just the cat and mouse game between the quarterback and the cornerback, and Quinyon Mitchell being young enough but wise enough to know basically what's happening, man. That was an elite level play by Quinyon Mitchell. You know, just elite level stuff. And it's no surprise I think he a dog. Everybody should think he a dog because he is one. He just was sticky all day against the Browns last week. This is why I want him on Malik Nabers. This is why I want him on Malik Nabers, because he's not afraid of the moment. You know what I mean? He shows discipline. He doesn't open his hips too early. There's not a cornerback playing better than this guy in the NFC East. We got to call a spade a spade. We have to call a spade a spade. There's no one. Look how he waits until he opens. Look, come on, bro. He don't open his hips until the wide receiver commits. He just does not open his hips and he's so sticky. Pause. I hate saying that. But here's an example of the hips. He opens them at the last minute. This should have been an interception. We all know how this one ended with Gardner Johnson. A lot of people were saying he left his responsibility. I don't know what happened on that play, man, but I'm just telling you, man, I'm highly impressed with Quinyon Mitchell. Right there is probably his worst rep because he slipped. I'm just highly impressed with Quinyon Mitchell, and I think that Quinyon Mitchell should be guarding all wide receiver ones moving forward. There's not a cornerback playing better ball than Quinyon Mitchell in the early part of this young season. It's just not. It's just not, man. You know, I know a lot of people want to say, stop it, LB, it's too early, it's too early. But when you know you found one, you got to talk about it early. Because what you don't want to do is be one of them people who talk about it while everybody else talk about it. Because people will confuse you with somebody who didn't believe. I ain't never seen this type of elite level, you know, play. And then even like he using a lot of energy. He just knows the position. He just knows the game. And mind you, you know, we started him off playing him out of position. That's an indication of how good he really is. Because he was about to take the starting slot job. He was going to take the starting slot job. It's an indication of how good this kid really could be, man. So listen, man, we're going to see how this pan out, man. But let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Is Quinyon him?